you guys to fucking talk unless I speak to you or he speaks to you. Do you understand? Stop right now or you're next one handcuffed. Do you understand? Stop!
He's not trying to get shit.
I didn't do anything wrong!
He's
I didn't do anything wrong!
He's not trying to get shit. He's really trying to get you.
Shut the fuck up!
He's a big kid.
Last time I want to fucking tell you. Shut the fuck up!
He's a big kid. He can figure it out on his own. He can sit over there and cry in the corner. It's okay. He's fine.
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. In early March of 2024, I was contacted by a mother whose child was a victim of the type of brutality that no good man would stand for. She found me after talking to BullzDeep and Otto the Watchdog. I've covered many of Otto's stories in the past.
Winston? How are you today, my friend?
Is that a question?
I've never met you in person. I feel so honored.
Really?
Yeah.
Honored?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great to meet you, dude.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have you hang out here.
What?
You're being detained right now.
For what?
For disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Being detained for disorderly conduct. What disorderly conduct?
The inappropriate gesture that you made over here.
Oh, the inappropriate gesture that I made over
Yeah.
here?
It offended the gentleman that was walking outside.
Oh.
You can't do that to other people. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you know who I am, and you're going to detain me for disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
For what?
For the obscene gesture that you did over
You
here on
obscene
the curb.
gesture. Do you know the definition of the obscene?
Otto's lawsuit settled for $100,000, and later he would meet Garth from BullzDeep, who I have also featured.
You guys are like addicted to IDs, and you don't even know the law. No, it's right there. You're not even gonna read it.
No, I am not. I don't need to read the law. I am on a call. I'm
Yeah.
not burying my face in a computer. You know how many dead dogs are pulled out of the car?
Yeah.
I don't need to read the law.
Upon speaking with the mother, we decided to work the case together. A link to their work can be found in the pinned comment. This story begins in April of 2022, when officers Michael Ganados and Brantley Miller of the Celina Police Department were dispatched to a house party. When the officers arrived on scene, Officer Miller's body cam is said to have malfunctioned, failing to capture the incident, so we'll have to rely on the footage from Officer Ganados. However, the department refuses to release the video footage, as Nick was only 17 at the time of this incident, but the family lawyer was able to obtain the footage, but only after the Celina Police attempted to evade justice by withholding this evidence of their officers' wrongdoing for nearly 3 years, even after a federal lawsuit was filed in 2024. Unfortunately, that body cam is still part of the discovery in an open case and cannot yet be released, which means this video will definitely have a follow-up. But we have other footage.
Shut the fuck up!
He's a big kid.
Last time I want to fucking tell you. Shut the fuck up!
The officers arrived at the home because of a false 911 call that is alleged to have been made by a cheerleader across town.
Allegedly, there was a minor in danger.
It's a false 911 call because it came from a neighborhood clear across town. And it was a couple of girls that allegedly didn't get invited, but it was not an invitation-only party. And so they just wanted to
Throw a little prank in there.
According to the incident report, once at the residence, the officers determined that the patrons inside were in violation of a city ordinance, referring to a noise complaint. Nick had been dropped off just 10 minutes prior.
I walked in, immediately met with a couple of buddies. One of them looks me down the eyes. He's like, dude, follow me upstairs. Your jersey's upstairs. It's waiting on Bryson's bed for you. And we walked up. I grabbed the jersey. I threw the jersey on. It was a nice Scottie Pippen jersey. Nice Bulls colors, everything like that. I was like, I don't know. I have zero clue who this guy is, but threw the jersey on. One of my buddies, Mason, he was like, hey, you want to go upstairs? We're, doing like silly TikTok trends or whatever, So we go upstairs, and that's where me and like 4 other people, including Mason, maybe 5, we're all just in there making TikToks, doing, what teenagers do.
After gathering most of the home's occupants in the great room, the officers knocked on the bathroom door, where Nick was with his friends.
Someone banged on the door. I swing that door open. I'm met with a uniformed officer, and I was like, oh, that's not Bryson. He had a flashlight on my face, and he said, get downstairs now. And I said, you got it. I just knew, Just do your thing. Don't do anything to get in trouble. Everything's going to work itself out. They asked one of the girls what her name was, and she said her name and then with an A or something like that, which is it's like a funny joke because people spell her name wrong all the time. It was like something snapped, and immediately, at least my blood, and I'm sure everybody else's blood, ran pretty cold, because just out of nowhere, one of the officers is, all right, everybody shut the
fuck up. He's a big kid. Last time I'm gonna fucking tell you. Shut the fuck up.
You know, we're trying to be cool with y'all, but this isn't a joke. It was in that moment that, reflex kicked in, and all I said was, yes, sir. The other officer pointed at me, and he goes, and you, Scottie Pippen, and, I don't know who Scottie Pippen is. So I turn around, I'm like, who's he pointing at? Who's Scotty? Lo and behold, he's pointing at me, and he's like, I'm done with your attitude. Pointed at me, told me to get up. I stood up in non-threatening way with my hands like this. And I said, what did I do? I was just being respectful.
Fortunately, despite the department's attempts at concealing this incident from the public, one of the attendees recorded a portion of the incident on his cell phone.
At that point in time, I had not gotten in any kind of trouble with law enforcement, with school. I barely had a tardy on my record.
Well, the problem is I stood outside that bathroom door for about 10 minutes telling you to come out.
As soon as I walked up to him, the other officer, the one who was cussing before, grabbed my right wrist, and he started putting it behind my back.
Until I said,
He didn't say anything. He just started putting my right hand behind my back. And I said, whoa, hang on, what did I do? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And it was at this moment the other officer grabbed my other hand, and they both pushed me against the wall, and they lifted me off the ground. I'm immediately in pain. My feet are dangling from the ground like I'm getting held up by my neck. And it was the most gut-wrenching and searing pain that I've ever felt in my entire life. I could feel my fingers touching the back of my neck. And then something out of a sick, twisted horror movie, you hear pop.
he's not trying to get shit. I didn't do anything wrong. He's not trying to do anything wrong. He's not trying to get shit. He's really trying to be respectful.
Nick, it'll be okay. Calm down.
And when they slammed me on the ground, that's when the shoulder had popped back into place. And that's where the damage was done.
My mom is an officer. His name is Hey, don't move. Stop.
Because of subluxation, which is what happened to my arm, is when the humerus pops out and then pops back into the shoulder, but it breaks going back in. So obviously I felt it go out, and I was like, oh, ow, whoa, what's going on? And then when they threw me against the ground, threw my back against this cabinet/vanity thing, it popped back into place, and I immediately felt the break. And that was unlike any pain I've ever felt in my entire life. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
Not right now, or you're next one handcuffed. Do you understand? I'm sick and fucking tired of playing with you guys. I don't want you guys to fucking talk unless I speak to you or he speaks to you. Do you understand? And that means stay off your phones too. Put them down on the ground, all of it.
While I was sitting there crying, begging for help, begging them, telling them that they did something to my arm, while my friends that I've known for 12 years were sitting there trying to console me and say, hey, Nick, everything's going to be okay. They looked one of my best friends of 12 years in the eyes, and they said, hey, he's a big boy. You keep it up and you're next. And that's when I knew that I was just being used as an example.
Hey, guys, shut the fuck up! He's a big kid. Last time I'm gonna fucking tell you. Shut the fuck up!
He's a big kid. He can figure it out on his own. He can sit over there crying in the corner. It's okay. He's fine.
Nick sought immediate medical care. He was diagnosed with a closed, non-displaced fracture of a caracoid process of the left shoulder and anterior subluxation of the left humerus. He had to wear a sling, have physical therapy, 2 surgeries, and screws placed in his shoulder. including more surgeries to have scar tissue removed. Furthermore, Nick was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder due to the excessive use of force, and now has permanent decreased range of motion, tenderness, and decreased strength in his shoulder. He's also subject to numbness, tingling, and is limited to 80% shoulder mobility. This obviously impacted Nicholas's promising football career as a defensive lineman, as his injury sustained during his junior year forfeited any time playing football his senior year, which undercut any college prospects he had. And Nick was never charged with a crime following the incident.
He graduated with a 4.25 GPA. He got into college on his academics because football got tarnished.
I still got to go and play college football, but not after every other college that I wanted to go to pulled out their offer from me.
OU got accepted to all of these places.
Most of it asked for a bench press, and it looks really bad when you show up and you say, oh, I can't bench.
The doctor told him, the orthopedic surgeon told him, he said, okay, here's,
My orthopedic surgeon first initially told me, but when the injury happened, that even if I get the surgery, there's a chance I might never be able to play football again in my career. I wanted to kill myself because I couldn't fathom the possibility of having something I wanted so intensely being taken from me. If it wasn't for my family, that it was almost a miracle. If they weren't with me that same night, I was going to go to some measure of life.
Nick has gone on to college, but on an academic scholarship instead. And while he did make it onto the school's football team, during his freshman year he was still attending physical therapy. His injuries had caused a huge mental block, set on protecting that shoulder. On top of that, he is still in therapy and meets with a psychologist on campus.
Nick's story is a reminder that the badge of authority must not be allowed to become a license to harm. When those sworn to protect the innocent cross the line, it's up to each of us to demand accountability, defend our constitutional rights, and ensure that nobody else suffers in silence. The Fourth Amendment and our shared ethical traditions demand that no one, especially a child, should face brutal force for a noise complaint. The courts will decide the outcome, but we all must ask ourselves, what kind of society would allow this to happen?
As for the officers, the department promoted Officer Granados to sergeant, and soon after hired his wife. Officer Miller was assigned as a school resource officer at Odell Elementary School, a public schoolhouse within Nick's neighborhood. But finally, in April of 2024, Nick filed a lawsuit for excessive force, punitive damages, and actual damages. There will be updates to this case. But in the meantime, go check out Otto the Watchdog's channel for even more information and interview footage.
Well, the problem is I stood outside that bathroom door for about 10 minutes telling you to come out until I said I was like, chill. Stop! He's not trying to be disrespectful. I didn't do anything wrong. He's not trying to be wrong. He's not trying to be disrespectful. He's really trying to be respectful.
Nick, it'll be okay. Calm down.
My mom is an officer.
His mom is an officer.
Hey, don't move. Please stop. Stop right now or you're next one handcuffed. Do you understand? I'm sick and fucking tired of playing with you guys. I don't want you guys to fucking talk unless I speak to you or he speaks to you. Do you understand? And that means stay off your phones too. Put them down on the ground, all of it. Hey, guys, shut the fuck up. He's a big kid. Last time I want to fucking tell you. Shut the fuck up.
He's a big kid. He can figure it out on his own. He can sit over there and cry in the corner. It's okay. He's fine.